Zoning is the age-old art of making your opponent feel like an absolute failure by sending a shit ton of bullet hell until the inevitable rage quits. Do you feel good about that? Feel accomplished? Huh? Well, you should, as it's a perfectly viable strategy, and JP has some of the best tools of the trade, and with this guide we will take this juiced up geriatric and unleash the psycho power's true potential. Probably. But before we do, don't forget to unleash this channel's true potential by giving us a like, share, subscribe, STRIBOGing that bell thingy, and following me on the social medias for all your gaming needs. Now, with that said, I am Tech, and this is my guide to being the best JP player you can possibly be. Probably. Now JP, as we've stated, is a zoner. He utilizes a strong mix of sheer bullet hell to keep the opponent where they are, and a key component to this bullet hell is his fireball, TORBALAN, performed with a quarter circle forward kick. This fireball changes properties with each version, with all having varying levels of block advantage. The further you are, the safer you are, unless you're point blank where most lights are gonna punish you even with that pushback. The light version hits high and on hits will knock the opponent flying, and at a longer distance allows you to set up or even combo into your other long range skills. More on that later. The medium version is an overhead, snuffing out crouching blocks. It's slightly slower with that slash, but that can fall into your advantage. Specifically, it's part of a cheeky little reset, but again, more on that later. The heavy version is a low. It's roughly the same speed as the overhead, but that low hit gives you a long range 50-50 mix-up that, because of the recovery, allows you to throw out even more bullshit. The OD version once again hits high, but is super advantageous on block. It also hits twice, with that second hit being a great combo extender in the corner, and an okay one mid-screen. Now there's one little issue with TORBALAN, that is, while all of these attacks can be useful, they have three glaring weaknesses. First, and the most important, they have no hitbox until the slash. They are projectiles and will trade with projectiles, but they will only hit the opponent when the ghosty slashes. This means that so long as the opponent is fast enough, they can zip through and punish you. Kimberly's sprint, the Blanca ball, or even fast rushes or dashes like DJ's and Yuri's. Now this, interestingly, isn't an option for everyone. Some rushes and dashes are just too slow, so the more accessible way to dodge the ghost is to jump, and if they jump close enough, it's a full punish. But we do have a way to combat this. You see, the light, medium and heavy versions, not the OD version, the light, medium and heavy can be feinted by holding the respective punch button. Still counts as a projectile, so will clash, but the feint recovers way faster than a whiffed ghost. So the idea is, when you know they are more inclined to jump, say when they are closer range, you throw out a feint, they jump it, and you can anti-air them. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The feint can be used in situations you know they are expecting to deal with it. Feint a block string they've been conditioned to block, and you can rush in and be a pest. Finally, the only thing that these projectiles have very little answer to is a parry. Every version of the attack is gonna just replenish the opponent's drive meter. Sure, the feint can work and you can rush in for a throw, but they can also release and go for a tech if they recover in time. And at long distance, this just isn't gonna happen. But there's still a way to beat it in the form of our last ghost-based move, Embrace. And yes, while it is a separate move with a separate input, I'm including it here as it's technically the final piece of the ghostly puzzle. This move is a little slow on startup, however, just like the others, it travels full screen, counts as a projectile, but this move is a command throw, so it beats parries, drive impact and any armor based move. Damage, speed and recovery wise, all the regular versions are exactly the same. It's only the OD version that ups the damage greatly. This completes the long-range rock, paper, scissors aspect to JP's range mix-ups, as the only thing that beats this move is jumping. So the idea is you get them used to blocking or parrying your range options, then throw out an embrace to catch them off guard. There's also some more sneaky ways to use this, but more on that when we talk about the normals. Seriously, the Ghost is a core mechanic. You get your head around this and everything else will just flow. Now onto the key normals. Starting with the lights, we look at Standing Light Punch. A fairly fast poke with an okay range that is safe on block, advantageous on rush, can be special cancelled, and can be linked into all its other lighty brethrens straight out the box, and even greater on rush or punish. Seriously, one of your most key tools. Learn to cancel into your specials from it. Same goes for his Crouching Light Punch, which is his fastest move in the game and also one of his stubbiest. Extremely safe on block, special cancelable, and again can link into itself and other lights straight out the box. But it's the speed that's the king. This move can allow for some spicy combo options off the drive impact punish, but for now it's your main interruption tool. If you know there's a gap in the opponent's offense, Crouch Light Punch should be able to interrupt for a full combo. Lastly, Crouching Light Kick is a quick low that, while can't be special cancelled, links into the other lights perfectly. Again, it's just a nice move to have. Mediums now, and Standing Medium Punch is that standard long range poke regular viewers of this series have become accustomed to. Can't be special cancelled and is unsafe on block, but has decent pushback that makes it safe. But this is your range check. You use this to keep your opponent from getting in free. Crouching Medium Punch is one of your best linkers. Decent startup and range, it's special cancelable, and is safe on block, with rush being the usual advantageous on block. Like I said, it's one of your best linkers. The rush version can link into some of your best normals and is part of your 50-50 combo routes. Next is the away medium target combo, Strelka. It's special cancelable on both inputs, can be linked into from your rush lights, but is only safe on the initial medium punch. This move is a great combo tool and can add a lot to your simple light rush openers. Next up, Standing Medium Kick, the longest reaching special cancelable medium attack. Safe on block, and it's just another decent poke tool that can lead into some big damage. Crouching Medium Kick, however, is an important low. Decent range, slight amount of gap closing, can't be special cancelled, but it's safe on block. However, it is the rush that's the big draw here. You see, on hit it has enough time to link into Crouching Medium Punch, the Ultra Linker. This seems just okay at first, but when we look at Guillotine, his forward medium kick, things change, as this is your normal overhead for this evening. Slow on startup, but has the same frame advantage as Crouching Medium Kick. Exactly the same, including rush on hit. So this means you have a somewhat close quarters 50-50 option. And for those of you who know my Blanca guide, you've seen how dangerous that can potentially be. Again, parries make 50-50 less powerhouses than I'm used to, and JP isn't blessed with the same knockdown setup that Blanca has. Still, with some good planning, you can get a nice 50-50 option for some big damage. Thank you all again for being so patient. We now move on to the heavies, starting with Standing Heavy Punch, probably your best poke tool. This is the Swiss Army Poke. Decent range, okay startup, safe on block, and special cancelable to boot. What's more, on punish itself, it has a cool spinning stagger effect that allows you to set up some cool options or get a simple one-bar rush into a heavy of your choice. But we haven't even started. This move also hits juggled opponents a lot more times than you could think, adding some crazy combo routes. Now, Crouching Heavy Punch is your main anti-air tool, albeit a very stubby one. Unsafe on block, but it's special cancelable and key to our little cheeky reset I talked about earlier. Using the corner for the example, so long as you can land the Crouching Heavy Punch naturally, so no rush, it will recover the enemy onto their feet like it would when anti-airing. And with the right timing, you can connect either the heavy or medium TORBALAN, and it will land in a way that the opponent has to use invincibility frames to get out of. If they don't, it's your hit, and you can combo into your away medium target combo to continue the punishment. Now in the mid-screen you can even get away with mixing that medium TORBALAN with Embrace, as the height and animation are very similar, and if they don't recognize the difference, it's some cheeky big damage. Crouching forward heavy punch is another big non-cancelable range check, this time with a big ass sweep. Death on block, but it's a hard knockdown, not one you can really get a good 50-50 on, but still it's another great footsie tool. Penultimately we have the standing heavy kick, another decent air check that is advantageous on block, and while it can't be special cancelled, can link into crouching medium punch out the box. But you can also just follow up with the heavy punch for its built-in target combo, Zillant, which may be unsafe on block but now is special cancelable and adds to your most damaging strings. But we ain't done. This is also a branching target combo as it has two enders. The punch ender is an overhead while the kick ender is a low. Both have a very interruptible gap and are unsafe on block, but they have a lot of mix-up potential. Finally, his forward heavy kick, Bailina, is a masterful super kick that hits twice. Unsafe on block, but has pushback. It will knock the opponent into the air on hit and is special cancelable. Again, with the right moves, this can be a deadly combo starter and a great tool with the heavy TORBALAN to get a chunk of space on hit. Okay, it's that time again for the jump-ins lightning round. Starting with jump-in light kick, as it's pretty decent at jump-ins, cross-ups and air-to-airs. Jump-in medium punch has a sick amount of range and is great for jump-ins and air-to-air. Jump-in medium kick is masterful at air juggles, and both the jump-in heavies are great vertical jump-in options. Lastly though, JP is one of the few blessed with an air throw. Damage is okay, but that isn't important. What is important is it has a fast startup, switches sides and sends them a third distance. Enough of a distance to keep your zony game up. But you see, this is only the regular way to use your jump-in attacks. There is actually a more interesting way of using these. But before that, we kick the specials off with STRIBOG, another core special. This spinning slash of psychoness is level 3 super cancelable and differs depending on the version. The light version is death on block but is fast and has a fair bit of knockback. The medium version is slightly slower, slightly safer, but still death on block and knocks them even further away on hit. Now these two moves work sort of the same as Luke's Flash Knuckle, as the light version will combo from light and medium normals, and the medium version will combo from medium and heavy normals. The heavy version, however, is so slow on startup, it will only combo from rush, counter or punish heavies. But that is because this version sends them full screen into a slight wall bounce, to which you can combo your medium or light TORBALAN into. This is your big full screen combo starter, and key to a lot of big damage and setup. Plus, it's advantageous on block. The OD version is the heavy version with the speed of the medium. The wall bounce is a little quicker so you have less time to react, but you still have time to end or extend your combo from it with his other core tool, TRIGLAVE. A ground spike of psycho energy that outside of the OD version is universal on damage, hit advantage and block advantage, but each of the normal versions affect the range. Light TRIGLAVE hits just outside standing medium kick range, so it won't cover point blank, but should still check people dashing into you. Medium TRIGLAVE hits from inside starting distance, while heavy TRIGLAVE hits full screen with the starting distance being its minimum range. Now the OD version is interesting, as it sends out two spikes that can combo into one of your normal TRIGLAVEs when hitting a juggled opponent. But this also has 3 ranges depending on the combination of punches used. Light and medium punch is the same range as light TRIGLAVE. Light and heavy is the medium TRIGLAVE equivalent, and medium heavy is the same range as heavy. TRIGLAVE alongside TORBALAN are your main zoning tools, You use the spikes to check dashes, jumps, and just relatively keep them on ground while they wake up. Then you start throwing your ghosts. At long distance, they can combo into each other. In fact, it's a powerful long-range combo off the heavy TRIGLAVE and can lead you to big level 3 combos, more on that later, or better yet, allow you to set up your pressure game with Departure, your last core zoning tool. This places a portal of energy at set distances, similar to TRIGLAVE. Using the starting positions as a base, the light version will pop a portal just in front of JP's face, the medium will pop a portal just shy of the opponent's starting position, and the heavy will pop it out just beyond your opponent's starting position. The OD version will once again bring out 2 portals, with the portals being tied to the respective button. So if you pressed light and heavy, the light and heavy portals will come out at the same time. Now the startup for the normal versions is super long, so you can't just cancel into them. OD is slightly faster, but the same rule applies. It has to be done off a knockdown to shave the disadvantage. But Tech, what do they actually do, I hear you ask? And I'm sorry, I go off a tangent. You see, these portals offer 2 things. First, if we let them cook over time, they will release a spike of psycho energy to the opponent. That will knock them into the air on hit, which if you're close enough and have fast reactions, you can juggle them with standing heavy punch. Also, if you get the portal out with enough time and distance to land a throw in that direction, the Spire should hit them the moment they are out of the immunity. This allows for some lethal reset stuff in the corner. On block, since it's passive, it just counts as a buck ton of free advantage frames, so when it is out, if the opponent can't land a hit on you to dispel it, they have to be aware of its presence. But that's just the passive side. You have more active options by re-inputting the attack. So quarter circle back, light or medium punch, while the portal is out, will teleport JP through the portal, making him airborne. This means you can make any jump in bar the medium punch, but the window is tight. In fact, it's best to do the attack the moment you see the portal ripple out. When done on the OD portals, the light will choose the closest to pop out of, and the medium will choose the furthest. Trust me, it's a big tip to know which does what, as you can choose to get up close and personal with one and let the other spire out. But if you want that spire faster to catch the enemy off guard, the heavy version will force it out. It has an animation to do that, so there are frame advantages at play, but it's still in your favour, so yeah. This forcing of the spire makes things harder for the opponent to read. If they think they can dash or jump in and you pop the spire, they have to look out for that. It means you could strike at any time. Now the best setup is off moves with high frame advantage. STRIBOG being a go-to mid-screen, and TRIGLAVE juggle enders either at full screen or in the corner adds an extra layer. But the big one to throw some ODs out of are stuns, DI punishes, and TRIGLAVE off a juggle in the corner. Now a great side switch option comes from the drive impact. So say you get the better of the DI trade when your back's against the wall. So long as you have the meter, you can pop the medium heavy portals and go for a crouching light punch into medium STRIBOG. The light will be part of a juggle and will knock them into the portal's passive spires, allowing you to normal dash and be on the other side, to which you can use the standing heavy punch and combo from there, or if you're a bit more advanced, jump in with a medium kick, then the standing heavy for a lot of damage. Then you have the corner to maybe go for a drive impact, wall splat or stun if you have the meter. The OD version is also part of a strong anti-wake up or O-key play in the corner. After ending with TRIGLAVE from a juggle combo, you can go into OD portals and catch the opponent's wake up with the crouching light punch into standing light punch into drive impact. Now if they do anything but use invincible frames to get out, it's either full damage with a loop to go again, or heavily still your turn. Evil stuff. I almost forgot. Our last special, AMNESIA, is an interesting counter move. The normal versions have no difference. You land any hit that isn't a projectile or throw, JP will phase out the way, leaving a homing psycho mine in front of the opponent. This mine provides a lot of block stun and on hit, will pop the opponent for juggles. It also places JP at a very safe distance when mid-screen to either go for a jump in or even rush with a crouching medium kick. With your back in the corner, it allows for something like crouching light punch or even crouching medium punch to apply pressure, but that ain't all. The OD version goes 2 steps beyond, adding throws to the counter list while also adding a extra mine. So if someone's in your face with throw loops, this will limit that and get you a hefty punish, but again, it isn't invincible. If you miss it, you are dead, so it's not uncommon for the opponent to just bait it out and call it a day, but it is your invincible wake-up tool, and getting the right timing with it is going to ease the pressure off you. Now for supers, we start with CHORNOBOG, a unholy cross that sends a powerful projectile out to the opponent. This is your invincible super, so if you have no drive and 1 bar, this is what you're going to use to counter those drive impact combos, or if you know the opponent's a little aggressive, can close the match with a wake up. It also can be comboed into with the right moves, so if you can close it out with the level 1, do so. At level 2 we have LOVUSHKA, probably the best utility super in the game. This has JP send out multiple clones in a fixed order of attacking. High, overhead, low, overhead. What's more, you can attack just as the super animation cut ends, allowing for the standard wombo combo shenanigans. In fact, it can lead to crazy damage and placements that there are multiple ways to go with this tool, and it can be cancelled into from your best combo starters. Best utility super by far. Finally, the level 3 interdictions. And again, there isn't much to say. Level 3s do big dick damage with even bigger dicks under 25% HP. But JP, being the old goat he is, couldn't just settle with the cool MK Fatality style super. Oh no. He had to have the Netherrealm super cheese to go with it. You see, this super hits from full screen. Yep, it has him teleport to the opponent. This means you can be a threat to those counter-zoning players, as if they throw out their own big hitting ranged attacks, you can bypass it and they die. Or you can just do your standard long-range shenanigans, land the TRIGLAVE and they die. Or you can pop a light into like STRIBOG and they die. You get the picture, there's lots of death. And honestly, that's the big appeal to JP.
What? Death?
As overall, this dude is in the wrong game. Like when I heard people calling him an MK character in Street Fighter, it piqued my interest, as I'm kinda familiar with the NRS style of zoning. I've been a Shang Tsung main since MK2 and dabbled with Zod and Dr. Fate when I wasn't baining around in Injustice. So JP feels very familiar. Utilizing space controlling spires with mix-up projectiles is very Netherrealm, and JP does it very well. However, he's a little difficult to get your head around. First things first, his inputs are just everywhere. Having a fireball assigned to a kick just threw me for a loop. I had very early days where STRIBOGs were getting punished because my instinct was to press punch instead of kick. After that, the flow kinda gets there, but it just takes a while. JP also suffers from slow or stubby normals. His longest reaching medium is slower than some of the zoners' heavies, and while he does go super crazy at range, it takes some skill to get the opponent back there. Worse still, he's super vulnerable to cross-ups and corner jumps. In fact, jumping is a real kryptonite, as almost everything can be jumped over and punished. You see, the Netherrealm zoning style would have jump speed checked at the peak of their jump, where JP's spikes will be just out of reach. So instead you have to check the landing as opposed to the jump itself. However, the main thing you should focus on before you get into the zone heavy aspect of JP is get a hand of cancelling his lights into STRIBOG. That is your main escape when people rush you down. You need to get used to what you do when they break past your wall. Then you can start getting the hand of building your zoning wall. Pay attention to where the opponent goes, how they are dealing with what you're throwing out. Like I said, check the landing. If they jump a ghost at full range, what spike catches that landing? Play patiently and slow things down. If you have the life lead, they have to come to you, and with a calm head and the right projectiles and spike timing as a result of said calm head, that ain't gonna happen. Just keep this in mind and you'll show that strength is meaningless, if you'll allow it.
I swear, these ending quotes are getting worse.
You're getting worse! But if you want to allow this channel to thrive, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, STRIBOG the bell thingy, and follow me on the social medias. Also, if you have any tips and tricks you found yourself, or just want to tell me who your favourite Street Fighter character is, let us know in the comment section below. And finally, tune in next time where once again we will look at another random character. But until that day, this has been Techno Odin. Stay safe, claim skulls, smash bosses, and break records.
Started from the bottom and I'll never look back. Look at all my haters, y'all making them mad.
Street Fighter 6.